What's going on, family? It's your girl Guruji Chastity, and I'm back with another one of my favorites, which is a whiteboard episode. Coming in teaching. I'm just coming in hot. So don't get overwhelmed by this quantum equation, right? I'm gonna break this down. This is very simple, but I am incorporating multiple ideas into one quantum equation, and the quantum equation simply just being the shape, this triangle. I drew a triangle and got all of this information about life just from drawing this triangle. So I want to go over this with everybody and just share and break it down because this stuff is powerful. This video don't even really have a title, so we're just gonna go ahead and get into it, right? All right, so when we're looking at this triangle, first we're gonna look at the numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just so you have an idea about where we're going. We are going to go through 1 through 5. We aren't going to go through the full chakra system, the full universal system, which is 7. Supreme mathematics goes up to 9. But again, we're going to stop at 5, right? All right. So the first thing that I did when I created this diagram is that I was thinking in terms of the universe, and I was thinking in terms of how the universe is explained within my body, right? So the first thing that I could think of was 1 goes to 2 to create 3, only to be seen from 4. Only to be seen from 4, and only to be felt in 5. All right, so this is what we have. First one, the root chakra. All right, the universal law is knowledge. Where did I write that? Here, mentalism, right? So the universal law is mentalism. The all is mind. And for the root chakra is that security and how you feel about yourself, self-awareness all resides in the root chakra, which resides in your mental capacity, which is your thoughts, right? So the universe said, I am knowledge. And then your root chakra says, I am secure by knowing I am, and I am is knowing the knowledge of self, right? So, all right, boom. I got 1. So knowledge goes to correspondence and sacral chakra, right? So the law of mentalism and the root chakra has to travel down to 2. So 1 goes to 2. The law of correspondence is as above, so below, right? The universe knew everything, but it says now I want to feel everything, and that directly translates to man as well. We come into our idea of knowing self, and then we have to feel into the body, right? That's not all of the process. So 1 goes to create 2. The law of mentalism split in order to create the law of correspondence, so that the universe had something to bounce that knowledge off of, right? Negative and positive, we can say. 1 goes to create 2. 1 goes to create 3. 1 goes to create 3, right? And when we get to 3, we get vibration in the solar plexus, right? The solar plexus. So boom, based on all the other videos, what we have deduced was that the law of mentalism is the universe says, I am mind. The all is mind. Your root chakra, you say, I am, and whatever you want to put behind it. I like to say, I am held firm in the mind of the all. I have no thing to fear, right? So now, me and the universe, we know what's up. Now we want to feel what's up. So 1 goes to 2, right? Once we feel what's up, because the universe said as above, so below, and I said I'm going to feel into my body, right? 1 goes to create 3. Now, once I get to 3, I have momentum and power. For the universe said I got vibration. I have movement, right? And the same for man. Man says I have power, right? It originates right here, right in the belly. I have power. I have significance. I am going to take action based off of what I know and what I feel, right? So 1 goes to create 3, only to be seen from 4. Now what's 4? Polarity in your heart chakra. So the universe said, all right, now we got these. I got as above, so below, so that I can kind of feel. But now I'm definitely going to create polarity. I'm going to create a very much so present positive and negative charge, right? And for man, that is our heart chakra, and that's how we come into humanity, into love. So throughout this whole process, we know, we feel, we do, and now we love, right? The universe says I have to create polarity. I have to see, what I have to see the spectrums, right? Polarity Excuse me, my glasses got something on it. Dropped a blunt. I'm getting into it. I gotta put that out to the side, you know what I'm saying? And then I lost my train of thought. But the universe says, okay, boom, I have polarity. Okay, that's what we're gonna say. We're talking about the idea of nature, right? So for instance, when we look at polarity, the nature of polarity can be seen in temperatures, right? We have hot and cold. Those are two different extremes in order for us to experience, but they are the same thing called temperature, right? And so we see that that's what the universe did there. It created the idea of polarities, of expansion, right? Of experience. It created the idea of that. And then that's how we begin to see what we do and don't like based off our own heart chakra, because we explore those polarities, right? So 1 goes to create 3, only to be seen from 4, right? And these are perspectives, right? We know that perspective and dimension is just another angle of thought. And perspective being, we can look at it and let's just say all of this was gone and we just had the triangle up here. If I was standing right here, if another person was standing up there, they have a different perspective because they're at the top of the point and I'm in the middle at the bottom, right? Perspective dimension is simply standing here or standing here. That's it. It's not an actual place to go or to be. Again, we're just viewing creation, which is this triangle, from a new perspective, a higher vantage point, right? So then if we only to be seen from 4, we're going to come down here and only to be felt in 5, right? And it's kind of like you can see the same pattern, because one could say, well, I thought I knew over here and then I felt over here, and you're telling me I'm coming back up here to know some more and to feel some more. Yeah, I am, because we're refining the process, right? So once I get to number 4, which is my heart chakra, I come down and into another dimension, another perspective, which is rhythm and my throat chakra. And again, I'm balancing everything that I just put into play here, everything that I just learned, right? So 1 goes to 2, to create 3, only to be seen from 4 and only to be felt in 5, right? And the reason, and let's bring this into how this makes sense for man. How to be felt in 5, right? How do you feel all that you created? Is that you create a rhythm through your throat chakra by speaking your truth into existence, right? Because I know what I do and don't like. I felt what I do and don't like. I've taken action about what I do and don't like. I really know through experiencing humanity through my own heart what I do and don't like. And now I'm gonna balance all of that through the feeling nature that is my throat chakra. I mean, how many times have we all expressed ourselves and you maybe get a lump in your throat, or even your lack of expression, you get a lump in your throat, right? Because that is feeling as well. That is creation. That noise that's coming out of your vocal cord is creation, right? So that's the entire, I mean, it's very simple, I believe. So forgive me. But that's the entire breakdown if we're looking at this through the universal law and the 7 chakras law. 7 chakras, right? And so for me, that's the basic information of everything. If I can grasp the concept of that, then I'm kind of well on my way to whatever else information I want to pack on, because knowing how the universe was created and how you were created seemed to be essential, just kind of in my brain. That's how it makes sense to me, right? So what we're looking at here, family, the diagram is in blue, the triangle is in blue, the instructions are in black. 1 goes to create 3, only to be seen from 4 and only to be felt in 5, right? So we have the instructions in black. Everything around it that's in blue is going to describe the universal law at the top, right? Universal laws at the top. And then the chakra laws at the bottom. So chakras all at the bottom, right? Chakras all at the bottom, right? Now, since we've talked about the universe and man, now I want us to jump over into 2 other avenues of information, right? So the things here in green that are circled are going to be actual dimensions, right? Actual dimensions. When they say, yo, we live up into the 15th dimension, but we only have access to the 3rd and 4th, depending on what you eat, how you speak, how you interact with one another, right? You can get stuck on different dimensions. You can get stuck in one way of seeing life. You can get stuck in viewing life from one perspective, right? But you have the opportunity to see what other perspectives are available to you, but that is through knowing and the awareness of those actual perspectives and dimensions. So let us not think that dimensions are actual places that we can go. No, you can tap into other dimensions right here, right now, by simply shifting your perspective of thought, family. All right? Okay, so boom, looking at dimensions. Dimension number one is going to be unity, right? That makes sense. When the universe was created, there was only one, right? And then the universe split into two, which creates duality, right? So in the second dimension, there's duality. The same correspondence, it makes sense. Mentalism, it makes sense, right? When we get to number three, we have unity, right? Because now we have movement. Now all of that has to go around with something else. So we started with one, we split off into two, and now we have three. Makes sense. The Holy Trinity. We heard that a lot in spiritual texts, in Christianity, in so many religious texts. We hear about Christianity. Could Christianity or all of those other religious texts be pretty or story-like ways to simply tell about the first three dimensions of the universe and how they were created, maybe? Right? I think so. So then, once we come to the third dimension, which is Trinity, we come up to evolution, right? And that makes sense. The more I evolve, and when I think of evolution, I think about the changing of the heart. That coincides with the heart chakra. It goes hand in hand. Though, and then when you get to the fourth dimension and you up here in evolution, right, there is no judgment. There is no judgment. You don't judge people for what they do. You are full of love when you're in the fourth dimension. You're full of love. You're full of love. Again, and that makes sense because that talks about the heart chakra. And then we come down here, right, to the fifth dimension. And the fifth dimension, again, this is a diagram. So literally when we think about the fifth dimension, don't think you're going to be going down into something, right? No. That's not what I'm saying. But just for this example, this arrow does go down so I can have space to write, okay? So then when we come down here to evolution, we come up to co-creation, right? That still make extra sense because when I think about the throat chakra and the idea of rhythm, I'm balancing how I'm going to create the life of my design using my voice. So it makes all the more sense that the fifth dimension is co-creation because the dimensions themselves have done all of this work, right? Everybody's purpose, even dimensions, even consciousness itself has a purpose, right? And the purpose is evolution, co-creation, and keep going up and up and up into dimensions, right? Then, so excuse me before I jump too fast, I get excited about these things. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. The first dimension of the universe is unity, which is one. Then the universe split into two to create duality, and that's how we see correspondence. And then once we split again, the split again that created the Trinity was the awareness. So now the universe knows I'm working with three, right? I got three. And now I'm vibrating. I'm isolating not isolating, but I'm working with all of this, right? To see what picture that I can paint. What can I make? What can I evolve into, right? And so we see in the fourth dimension, we get evolution to where there's nothing but love. There's no judgment because everything has evolved up into a point of understanding. We realize that there is polarity and we realize that they're the same thing, but we are okay because we know that we can go to either side. So there's no reason to have judgment. There's only reason to have love, right? And what we also learn up here in evolution, that there's only truly one emotion, which is love, right? Everything else is just a higher or lower vibration of that one emotion, which is love. Hatred and anger and all of that is still love. You wouldn't emote to such a low vibrational level to express hatred or anger if you didn't love whatever you're expressing that about, right? That makes sense. So that's how we know that there's truly only one emotion that is just vibrating on high or low, right? And that's how your low vibrational emotions is low vibrational love. Your high vibrational emotions are high vibrational love. Okay? Cool. Last but not least, I want to talk about supreme mathematics, which is just all of these numbers in general and what that means and how to use them in your everyday life, right? So, I use this as the three elements of creation, 1, 2, and 3, right? That's how we know everything. So boom, number 1 is knowledge. Again, all of these numbers coincide with the chakras, the universal law, and the first 5 dimensions. All of these numbers coincide with this, right? So number one, we have knowledge, the acquiring of information. And we're not going to go in detail. It don't matter how you get the information. For man, whether you read a book, you listen to a lecture, you do an interview, you talk directly to somebody, you experience it, right? No matter the case, the first number in supreme mathematics is to know, right? Number two is wisdom, right? And wisdom is nothing more than deducing your own ideas from the knowledge that you acquired. It's critical thinking. Then when we come down for wisdom, we bring ourselves to understanding. And understanding is the picture that we paint from the knowledge and the wisdom that we just made, right? So if I went out and got some paintbrushes and then I got a canvas, right? My understanding is going to be the picture that I paint on that canvas, right? That's how that makes sense. Number four, we have culture and freedom. Now, again, culture and freedom, what does that sound like? Your heart chakra. That really sounds like an exploration, right? If I have culture and then I have freedom, I'm going to want to explore that culture, and I would want to do so with freedom of being or freedom of mind without having any control, which is why we also see in the fourth dimension, there is no judgment. It's only pure love, because everybody is going to be searching for their own culture and their own freedom and the expression of it. And then last but not least, we have number five, which is power and refinement, which then also coincides to co-creation, right? I want to have a authentic power and the capacity to refine everything that I've created within these numbers, within this diagram, within this paradigm, right? Within this reality. So you can see how, even if we just look at this, take anything that you're working on, right? Anything. It could be an interpersonal situation, a work situation, a purpose situation where I'm just trying to figure out my purpose. Any opportunity that comes your way. We don't classify things as challenges. We classify them as opportunities. So anything that presents itself as an opportunity that comes your way, I guarantee if you take an approach of say, cool, I'm going to solve this issue simply using supreme mathematics. I'm just going to take literal numerology, or what you learn in math, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the how you describe it. You're going to say, number one, what do I know about it? Number two, how do I feel about it? Number three, now what is my idea of a solution based on what I know and what I feel? Number four, how is this normally handled where I come from? And that culture could be as a unit. It can be your immediate family. It can be a friend, somebody you trust, whatever. Then you're gonna find the freedom to express all of that. And then number five, you're going to actually create the solution to the problem through co-creation between you and the universe, because you've taken the steps and you've done the work to figure out who, what, when, where, why. You feel me? This is very easy, like literally very easy. Now, supreme mathematics with helping yourself, that's a tangible tool. Supreme mathematics is a tangible tool. Everything else with this quantum equation is just straight up like, yo, it's a blessing to know. Excuse me, I was trying to scratch my head. It's a blessing to know, just to know how it works. So this is a great quantum equation to see as a whole how the first 5 universal laws of the universe, excuse me, and how those laws manifest in man really play a part in your life. And my camera falling. All right, family. Hold on. All right, family. I hope we caught that before my camera started sliding down. Forgive me. I went out and recorded the other day and then lost my dang tripod little security nugget. And so I got Velcro on my camera in this tripod. And it's nerve-wracking, believe me, because if this camera fall, I would cry and probably throw up. Nonetheless, family, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This was just, a random, not random, but a random share of this quantum equation video that I drew on my own. I drew this diagram. I necessarily didn't have any intentions of sharing it, but I just felt moved to share this. So I hope this has helped you all. And until next time, as always, family, I love y'all. Yeah.